Good. Okay. So this is all about like thinking back. Someone asked prior to the event, like, what's the difference between you at 260 pounds struggling with your weight versus now? I still haven't got it all figured out, but I haven't gained back the weight. So what's the difference? And I think it boils down to this stuff first before figuring out your macros, your workouts, your walks, all those big five habits, right? So how we stop chasing results and start becoming the kind of people who are deserving of them, who attract them naturally. I see a win there. Good stuff, Linda. Wins Wednesday in the chat. So vanity versus value. So if I think back to myself, early 20s, first year of college, I basically starved myself down because I wanted to, attract girls. I wanted to have a six pack. Apparently that was the sole motivation for me at the time. Realized you still have to have a personality, which I was missing. So it didn't really solve all my problems. Nonetheless, surface level goals, running away from shame or embarrassment. Like there was a lot of trauma there, right? And being made fun of as a kid, especially in junior high in particular. In high school, I just hid and avoided all that. But in junior high, Mitch Tits was the nickname. And there was one kid that bullied me. He actually reached out about coaching. So that's an interesting little full circle moment. Nonetheless, that energy running away from shame, it's good. It gets you started. I just don't think it's sustainable. So now looking back with the advantage of experience, now my why is a lot deeper. Active parent, wanting to set a good example. I notice my kids move more and check out the gym curiously if I'm in the gym, if I'm moving, if I'm active. So I think by osmosis, they certainly don't listen to what we say or tell them to eat their vegetables. But if you're eating your vegetables, likely, no guarantees, they'll start to adapt those behaviors by default. And that's what it's all about for me. So running towards my best self now, trying to show up, embody that best version that sets a good example. That's a more sustainable fuel for me. There you go, Linda. Granddaughter used to work out with me when she was over. See? Beautiful. So Dunning Kruger Effect. I thought everyone knew about this because I always talk about it in the Monday message, but clearly not all you guys read the Monday message. So we dove into this on Saturday I don't know, quite a few of you were there, about the journey I had to take to lose 60 pounds, but keep it off. And at first I was on the peak of Mount Stupid. I was delusional in thinking this would come easy, that every new thing I found online or any new diet was like the solution. I just had to follow that for a few weeks, a few months, and all my problems were solved. And the view from there is beautiful. It looks easy and scenic. And then you get there and it's a really steep climb and you end up falling back down, right? And you get kind of stuck in that until you embrace the basics in the valley of despair, right? That's where a lot of you probably are right now, where you're showing up daily. It seems a bit repetitive, boring. You're like, I don't know if this is worth the effort, but it is when you get to the mountain peak at the end here and you're looking back on the process. And that's the slope of enlightenment. And that's kind of the promised land, is where you get to a place where it's no longer forcing these habits. It's just flowing naturally from who you are. You don't even have to think about drinking water. You don't have to negotiate with yourself to get the workout in. Too many days anyway, because you have created that new identity and you've killed that old version of yourself that was diving headfirst in the chips every night. More wins. I like it, Martha. So how do we get here? Well, the plateau of sustainability, maintenance would probably be the word we use most often. That's kind of what today's quick training is about. So type a 1 in the chat if this is making sense so far. Make sure here. Now, losing weight gets you in the doors, but we're not here to just lose weight. We have to become the person who doesn't gain back the weight. Permanent change, not temporary quick fixes. So it comes down to that identity shift, right? The 2.0 version of yourself, building sustainable habits from day one so that they can stick around at day 12,366. Long ways away, okay? So doing that comes down to, I try to boil it down to as few of these as possible, but I came up with 4 that I think all help explain this. So the old way was, oh, I blew it with that cookie. Might as well have 10 cookies. I'll reset on Monday, right? That's that scarcity mindset. That one screw up means the whole thing is screwed. Whereas an abundance mindset, I enjoyed that cookie. It was delicious. It was worth it. It was mom's home cooking. Now I'm going to make sure the next meal includes protein and veggies, maybe cut a few carbs here and there if I need, if my numbers don't make sense, but keep moving forward. Short memory about the screw ups. And probably that cookie wasn't even a screw up. If it's one cookie, it easily fits into your numbers. Now I talked about like running away from the old version of myself, like forcing it. I have to hit the gym 6 days a week, follow this rigid Tupperware meal plan, cut out all sugar, no exceptions, white knuckling it. That might get you faster results, but you're going to fizzle out, right? Whereas if you're in flow, our system, 3 strength workouts this week, you got some meals prepped, you're following the big 5 and it feels sustainable because it is. Okay. Next is outcome obsessed. The scale is all that matters. That's what determines your mood, whether or not the process is working. You don't control the drops on the scale and the daily fluctuations, but you do control the controllables. Did I drink my water today? Did I track my nutrition? Did I get my scheduled workout in, right? That's all you control. Trying to be better at those things. Cool so far? 2NS, 2TS, whoever that is. Can't decipher that code. And lastly, deprived. Oh, I can't eat that. Oh, I can't drink that. Sorry. Versus empowered. I'm choosing not to drink tonight. So I want to feel good tomorrow. Choosing not to have that second helping of dessert. This doesn't align with my goals. Once you take control, you're on that victim mindset, it's actually easier to make these decisions. It's less willpower driven. All right. Yes, no, anything to add to that list? I know we had quite a few answers on Saturday that I haven't added to this. Just people's personal experiences. Okay, what's different now versus before? Love to share them in the chat if you have them. Control the controllables. Yes, Doreen. I want to come up with a short list of things, but we can dive into that later. So when you look at yourself, new identity you're creating, what are those foundational behaviors, mindset pieces that make all the difference? Give that some thought beyond these 4. So Gavin spoke about this. Be, do, have. That's the order sequence of events. You become that new version of yourself in your day-to-day choices. So then you take actions, align with that new identity. You embody this future version of yourself that's already fit. Do what they would do. And then you have. You stop trying these things and you start just becoming, being. Okay. Makes sense? Yes, yes. Okay, we'll open the floor here to questions shortly. I like the head nodding, Chris. Good stuff. Okay. So ultimately, my role is to provide that link between the old you and new you and make sure you don't fall off the wagon. You might speed wobble a bit here and there, but you hang on. You get back on. So in my experience, what's worked for me is community, other people that, prop me up. They're not crabs in a bucket pulling me down to do all the wrong things. They're trying to support you, pull you up. Soar with the eagles, right? Don't dabble with the turkeys. So that's what this community is about. Everyone on this call is my people because you bring the right energy. You support one another, right? You set that good example. Lots of you in your social circle in the real world, probably hit or miss. And not saying to fire your friends by any means, but try to set yourself up for success because environment, people, places are all super important. So community and coach accountability obviously is big. We just do better when we know we're being watched. Big brother, it works. Measuring progress, not just the scale, but photos, even just in your workouts. I'm getting stronger here and there. That's a good sign. And ultimately that comes down to achievement because we do need to see validation for our efforts over time. We expect it to happen too fast in most cases, but over time, guaranteed when you show up like this and you hit your habits consistently, you look back a year from now and the magic has happened, right? Guaranteed. Process leads to the outcome. Okay. Any questions on this? I don't know what I think I have one. Yeah, right. Yeah, so you guys have been spammed by this offer for the last week, depending on where you are in your journey. If you renew for 12 months, you get 3 additional months tacked on. I have a $20,000 credit bill from the event, so this is partly the reason for that. Get some cash flow going, but it also incentivizes you to commit long term, and you get some free months for your efforts. I know we've got quite a few people on the call that have taken us up on this already. I have to add one more, but yeah, there's Jamie, there's Dan. Good stuff. So if you haven't heard this from this yet, it should be in your email. If not, reach out privately afterwards. Okay. So I'll leave that there. All right. Any questions on this stuff? Anything jump out? Yes, Diane, go for it.
That first slide of the old way versus new way, is there any way I can get, you can fax, email that to me? I'm gonna blow it up and put it up on the wall because it is so me. The only thing I'm still stuck on is that damn scale. But still, if I have it up on the wall and keep looking at it, that's an excellent slide.
That's smart. Yes, that's why I print out my 90-day worksheets, because if it's a PDF on my computer, never refer back to it. But if it's at my desk here, I look at it,
Okay.
even subconsciously every day. That's when the magic happens. So absolutely, I'll get you a copy of that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Very nice. You're not alone on the scale piece for sure. All right. Anyone else? General questions? It's called a Q&A after all, so I'd love to be doing more answering. Don't be shy. We got to open up the floor to Diane again, I guess. Possibly. You guys are all good. Heads are nodding. Okay. Okay. We'll leave it. We'll wait here another minute. Who is Martha? You're unmuted, so I'm assuming you got something to share.
No, well, I thought I would just put myself on video.
Throw me a lifeline.
I just finished my walk. Well, I mean, I don't really have a question, but one of the things that I implemented, and it was something that came out of maybe one of the Wednesday calls a couple of weeks ago, was I added that 20-pound weight vest to my walks every day, which I have to be honest, the last 4 days at 37 degrees and walking was extra crazy. But I really just wanted to put it out there for the group. I've lost almost 55 pounds, fluctuate because I'm in maintenance, but I added 20. So, before I was walking with 55 extra pounds, adding this 20 pounds, it feels like it's 100. But it's great in a good way, but I cannot believe how heavy 20 pounds is. So the thought of 55 extra pounds consistently on my joints, on like all of the, problems that it causes. But I am amazed at what it's done to increase my kind of challenge and outcome in my walk. So if anyone is on the fence about it, it is really makes a huge difference. I'm finding, right, to challenge me a little bit more and make the walk. I mean, I can only make it so quick when I go with Al because of his knee replacement. He's a little pokey. So this adds that extra bit that I needed to make it a little more challenging for me. So if you're looking for a bit of a challenge, it is a good way to make that walk and those extra steps more challenging. Oh, Doreen, I found it at on Amazon, and I did share it in the gals group yesterday. Just the one that I got. There's lots of options on there. Some of them are crazy expensive, but I got mine on Amazon.
Perfect. Yeah, that's one of the reasons it's harder to continue making progress, because just think back to how much more calories you're burning 55 pounds ago, carry on that weight with 55 pounds less on you, and you're a lot more efficient, unfortunately, right?
And I could tell. I could tell on the walks without my vest because I'm not out of breath despite trying to increase my rate, my rate per kilometer. This has added, I can feel the challenge again. So it's worth the try if you're kind of at a plateau.
Yeah, and if you want to try it just with a backpack, you can load that up as long as the straps are, not going to break on you with too much weight. That's one way to go about it before investing in a vest and see how it feels for you. But yeah, there's some evidence. It's kind of in vogue right now because there's some science showing you just burn a lot more calories relative to a regular walk without having to up the intensity or run or, break down your joints. So for sure, good tip. Any other tips working for you guys?
Just a question, how you guys,
Yeah.
how everyone tracks their water. That's probably the hardest thing because I run around all the time. And so I'm like, I don't know how much I drank by the end of the day. I'm pretty sure I'm close, but.
Yeah, go ahead, Martha.
I know for me, I have a 1 liter water bottle. It makes it super easy. I empty it and I refill it, and I know exactly how much I consume every day. I don't drink out of I don't drink out of a glass. I drink everything out of this water bottle, and it makes it super easy to track.
Yeah, in the early going, worth tracking. You'll probably get to a point where it just comes naturally to you. I haven't tracked water in a long time. But I usually can tell if I'm parched or if my urine's a little too yellow by midday, there's something up. So yeah, definitely track with the water bottle. Don't use plastic and reuse plastic. I know someone that was using plastic so much, it was getting grimy, and we know how those degrade. So we'd rather avoid excess plastic, right, from water bottles. So if you have a stainless steel water bottle or something like that, that's probably the best way to go. It looks like Chad has a 1 liter as well. You fill that up 3 times, you're good to go.
I have a little sticky note on our water cooler at home, and every time I fill up my cup, I make a stroke.
Nice.
And then if I go out, I try and remember, oh, okay, I drank 2 glasses of water. It's at my mom's house. Come home, put 2 more little note things. So
Yeah, that's a system right there.
I don't want a big water bottle or anything to carry around, so
There you go.
just a glass.
Can you
But
also,
it works for you.
can you also include decaf coffee and decaf tea as part of I do drink a lot of water, but I also like my decaf.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no Diet Cokes too. Yeah. Anything brewed with water still counts, right? There's that kind of
I
misconception.
drink a lot of Perrier waters, but
Right.
I just like it because it's bubbly.
Yeah.
Hey,
Coffee's-
Mitch,
Yeah. Chad?
just another piece on the water. There's actually water jugs now that are 1 liter that have lights that flash. I don't know if you've seen those, but they're becoming popular in our workspace here. And it reminds you to drink. If you haven't lifted the bottle for so much time, it starts flashing a light.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah,
Wow. AI water bottles. What's next?
there you go.
Good tip, Chad. I'm gonna actually search one of those out now. Curious what those look like. That would drive me crazy, Linda says. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on how frequent it flashes on you. Gives you a seizure. That wouldn't be ideal. Okay. Good stuff. Anything else? Water tips are good. Get into having my notes here. Oh, we'll save that for the meal planning week. All right, well, we can shut it down a little early today. We'll be at 12:24. Yeah. Anything else, guys? If not, if it's a private question, certainly reach out. You guys know where to find me. Otherwise, keep plugging away, right? That's the secret. The new way. Keep showing up. All right. Have a good rest of your week. Stay dry out there.
Thanks, Mitch.
Cheers.